Imagine a world where the last embers of hope are burning out, where faith is the final, desperate cry. But what if salvation comes, and you turn it into torment? What if a divine being becomes your slave, your battery, your personal source of eternal suffering?
Today we're not just diving into the plot of Angel Engine, this masterpiece of analog horror that has literally captivated the internet. We're undertaking a deep analysis to understand why this story isn't just a chilling tale, but a bone-chilling prophecy for each of us living in the 21st century. We'll unravel the dark past of Dr. Ernstmann. Where did this man come from who dared to lay hands on the divine? We'll explore the true, terrifying cost of this utopia built on torment. And most importantly, we'll decipher the message of the enigmatic deceiver. A threat that might be far closer than you think. Watch this video until the very end, because what Angel Engine is trying to convey to us is already unfolding around us, and to ignore it is to condemn ourselves.
So let's start from the very beginning. Imagine a world not just on the brink, but a world that has already plummeted into an abyss, one that humanity dug for itself. Resources are depleted, energy is scarce, the planet is suffocating under its own waste, and the survivors, torn apart by internecine wars, are engaged in a desperate struggle for the last scraps of existence. This isn't just ruin, it's absolute chaos where any hope seems like madness. And in this landscape of utter despair, where nothing is left but prayer, people cried out to the heavens. Millions of voices, billions of souls, yearning for a miracle. And a miracle, unbelievably, arrives. The Lord in His infinite mercy answers. He sends an angel. Not just a messenger, but the Archangel Uriel himself. One of the highest beings known as the Light of God, or Fire of God. The very Uriel who, according to some traditions, guarded the gates of Eden with a flaming sword, and who warned Noah of the coming flood, granting humanity a chance at survival. Uriel descends to earth, moved by compassion, to offer his aid, to impart knowledge, to show the way. But what does humanity do? Instead of welcoming him with humility and gratitude, with reverence for divine intervention, humanity betrays him. They don't just accept his help, they imprison him. Imagine the absurdity, the monstrous arrogance. A being capable of wiping you out with a mere snap of his fingers is reduced to a prisoner. He is hooked up to a monstrous machine, christened the Angel Engine, and thus begins the greatest, most unimaginable blasphemy. Using an angel as a power source, stripping him of his dignity, reducing him to a divine battery, whose eternal suffering fuels a new artificial utopia. This act doesn't just break moral or ethical boundaries. It violates the divine order itself. Humanity transforms into the executioner of the sacred. And it's not done out of hatred, not out of fear, but with cold, calculated indifference. With scientific logic stripped of compassion, with the arrogance of those who believe they have the right to control all of creation. But who stands behind this monstrous project? And what led him to such an inhumane choice? We've already touched upon his name, Dr. Jeff Ernstmann. He is the embodiment of this insane design. His mind, once considered the brightest on the planet, became broken, distorted by ambition. Let's delve into his history to understand how a man could descend to such a depth of moral degradation. Jeff Ernstmann literally burst onto the scientific scene in his early 20s, leaving the world in awe. By 25, He had already received the Nobel Prize in Chemistry, becoming the youngest laureate in history. A prodigy. A rising star. It seemed clear he was destined to become one of the greatest minds in the scientific world. But his meteoric rise faded. For nearly 20 years he disappeared from public view. Yet Ernstmann returned from obscurity not with remorse, but with the Angel Engine. A machine he claimed could turn any wish into reality. The world was thrilled, until the horrific truth emerged. The engine was powered by the suffering of a real, conscious, tormented angel whom humanity had imprisoned. Society was outraged, demanding the angel's release. But Ernstmann was unyielding. He even publicly declared he would soon make the angel obsolete. This audacity demanded punishment. On the day of his new invention's unveiling, Ernstmann was fatally shot. His soul descended to hell, to Dantalion, the demon with whom he'd made his pact. It seemed like the end. But in Angel Engine, death is merely a new beginning. Here the series reveals its core. Uriel, an archangel, could have escaped. Yet, he chooses to remain imprisoned, continuing to aid humanity despite immense torment. This incredible sacrifice questions our very gratitude. Then, by Lucifer's command, Ernstmann was resurrected. He then introduced Barakiel, an artificial angel. Humanity isn't just exploiting the divine, it's now attempting to recreate it. This is a new dangerous game of playing God. Lessons unlearned. The madness escalates. And finally, the most sinister message. The mysterious deceiver. Angel 1 and Angel 2 desperately warn us. He is not a friend. He will bring destruction. Do not let him enter you. Is he the Antichrist? Or a metaphor for our own willingness to be deceived? The deceiver seeks to penetrate within, to manipulate. He is the essence of our self-deception and hubris. Angel Engine isn't fiction, it's a powerful mirror for modern humanity. It screams about the consequences of unchecked progress, how the pursuit of omnipotence without ethics leads to self-destruction. Our tech obsession and willingness to exploit even the divine turn us into monsters. The series asks uncomfortable questions. Are we willing to pay such a price for convenience? Sacrifice compassion for survival? What happens when deceivers exploit our greed? Angel Engine is a call to awaken. Before we follow Ernstmann's path, before our second Tower of Babel collapses. Perhaps the greatest lesson. Evil isn't just in demons, but in the cold heart willing to betray all for its goals. The choice, my friends, is always ours. What are your thoughts? Which warnings resonate? Is it horror or prophecy? Share your thoughts. If you like this analysis, hit like, subscribe, and don't miss the next video or this chilling story's continuation. Thanks for watching till the end, and see you in the next unsettling encounters.